love how Brené Brown defines spirituality. She says, spirituality is recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected to each other by a power greater than all of us, and that our connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and compassion. That connection could be to God or the divine, or it could be a connection to all of humanity or to nature. Whatever your spirituality, we are all deeply, deeply connected. Yet sometimes we don't feel that connection, and then we feel a bit off in life. So let's focus on that connection as we move through this practice. We're going to need a chair in a little bit for our practice. You may also want a rolled up blanket or towel or a bolster, something like that. So feel free to gather those things and then meet me here in the middle of our mat for Tadasana. Tadasana is a really strong standing pose, mountain pose it's called. And so we'll stand with our feet together, really pressing through the ground, reaching through the ground with the head, standing nice and tall. And I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. Taking a few breaths in and out. I invite you to imagine radiating love, kindness, generosity, and then directing that in toward yourself. Knowing that all connection starts right here, connecting with ourselves. Breathing in that love and kindness and generosity that you're offering yourself. One more breath. Beautiful. All right, let's move into Warrior One. So I'm going to start with my feet toward the chair. I'm going to start with my left leg first. So I'll step my right foot back. And for Warrior One, we want to keep that back heel squarely on the ground. So I'm going to angle my foot so it can stay squarely down. And so I can really press through that heel. I'm going to bend the left knee. I'm going to draw the right hip forward, left hip back. I'm actually kind of widening my stance a little bit to make that a little bit more feasible. And then from here, we're going to have the hands on our hips, bringing to mind in this moment a loved one. I want to invite you to imagine radiating out that love, that kindness, that support, that generosity. If it feels good, you can bring the arms up overhead, imagining that loved one, radiating out that love and kindness and generosity. Beautiful. Bringing the arms down, we'll step the feet together and we'll switch sides. So this time, stepping back the left foot, angling out that foot so that we can keep it squarely on the ground, bending the right knee. Finding some balance here, pulling the left hip forward, right hip back. And in this moment, I encourage you to bring to mind an acquaintance, so someone that maybe you don't know quite as well. But doing that same exercise, imagine radiating out your love and your kindness and your generosity and your support to that person. Again, bringing the arms up overhead that feels good, breathing deeply as you imagine radiating out that love and kindness and generosity and support. Big breath. Beautiful. Bring the arms down. Step the feet together. We're going to move into pyramid pose, which is a very similar setup to Warrior One, but we'll use our chair to help us in this pose. So to begin, let's bring the chair a little bit closer here. And I'm going to start with my feet about a foot away from the chair, stepping back my right foot, just like we just were with that foot planted down on the floor. But instead of bending that front knee, I'm going to keep the front leg straight. Now squaring up the hips, I'm going to draw that right hip forward, left hip back, and then hinging forward, I can bring my hands to the seat of the chair for a nice big stretch, or you can also bring the hands down to the floor wherever it makes most sense for your body. And in this moment, I invite you to bring to mind someone that the relationship feels a little bit rocky. Maybe there's distance or conflict. Maybe it's just off. But bringing that person to mind and then radiating out that love and generosity and kindness to that person as we hold this pose, breathing in and out. One more breath, friend. Beautiful. Stepping the feet together, we're going to move into the other side of our pyramid pose. So, stepping our left foot back this time. Really positioning so you can keep that heel down. Front leg stays straight. We're going to pull that left hip forward, right hip back. And then again, hinging forward, bringing the hands to your support, whether that's a chair, the floor, whatever makes sense in your body. And as we hold this side, I invite you to imagine your community. It could be your neighborhood, it could be your coworkers, your group of friends, the place you live, but bringing to mind your community. And again, sending out your love, your kindness, your support, your generosity, radiating out to your community right now. Big breath in. And exhale. And step the feet together. I'm going to move the chair out of the way. And I'm going to come on down to child's pose. So for child's pose, you may want to have a blanket or a bolster, something for the arms. I like to put it kind of right under the elbows so that my head can also rest on the blanket, rolled up blanket. Some people like to have the knees completely together for child's pose. I actually like to spread the knees a little bit, just kind of creates a little more space for the body. And then I'm just going to fold forward here. Bringing my arms down, bringing that blanket a little bit closer so that my head can come to it. Letting the arms stretch out, letting the shoulders stretch and relax, letting the head relax down. And as you come into this safe and soothing pose, I invite you to think about your connection to all creatures everywhere, to all of humanity, to all of the animals, to all of the plants, this whole ecosystem of life that we enjoy here on Earth. And in this moment, I invite you to imagine radiating out your love, your kindness, your generosity, your support to all creatures everywhere. Breathing deeply, exhaling as you radiate out that love and support and kindness. Taking a few breaths here as you feel that deep connection to all of the creatures here. One more breath. I invite you to rise up, to find a seated position that feels comfortable to you in this moment. And then to just bring the hands to the heart. Noting how you feel in this moment. And I invite you to say these blessings over yourself. May I experience God's loving kindness. May I be surrounded by love. May I have meaningful connections. May I be brave and resilient. May I experience peace. Let's take one more big breath together. Inhale in and let it go. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, friend.